What if I told you that making a woman obsessed with you isn't about looks, money, or charm? It's about subtle psychological triggers, ones most men walk past without ever seeing. These aren't pick-up tricks. They're emotional switches, deep cues wired into the female mind. And the man who understands them, he doesn't chase, he attracts. Here's the truth. Women don't fall for logic. They fall for emotional patterns, moments that make them feel seen, safe, and slightly off balance. And when you activate these unconscious responses, you create an obsession that goes beyond physical. Right now, most men focus on external moves, but if you master the internal cues, you'll unlock a different level of connection, one that lingers in her thoughts even when you're gone. So if you're ready to tap into what truly draws her in, like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I move minds, not just hearts. Number 1. She respects what she can't control. Reclaiming your inner power. In every relationship there is a subtle dance of power, not domination, not submission, but a psychological equilibrium that determines respect. And here's the truth: when a man becomes predictable, compliant, and easily swayed by a woman's emotions, he loses that balance. He trades respect for approval, and without respect, desire quickly fades. Because contrary to the popular narrative, what draws her in is not your willingness to follow, but your refusal to be moved by storms that aren't yours to carry. Picture this: she tests your boundaries. Through silence, sarcasm, or sudden coldness, the average man panics, over-explains, tries to fix what isn't broken. But the stoic man, he doesn't flinch. He recognizes the emotional turbulence as hers, not his. He remains centered, anchored, and in that stillness she senses something rare: a man who cannot be controlled. And precisely because he cannot be controlled, he becomes unforgettable. The modern lie is this: be agreeable, be accommodating, and she will love you more. But what she truly desires, though she may never say it aloud, is a man who doesn't bend to every emotional gust, one who leads with calm, one who embodies a quiet certainty, not from arrogance but from deep self-ownership. This is not coldness, this is self-respect. When you maintain your frame, emotionally, mentally, and physically, you show her what steadiness looks like. You stop trying to be her emotional sponge and start being her emotional mirror. She sees herself more clearly in your presence, because you're not reacting but reflecting. From a Stoic perspective, this is the essence of self-mastery. You don't try to control others. You don't even try to control outcomes. You simply control your response. You lead with presence, and in doing so you invite her into a relationship not built on emotional dependency, but mutual recognition of strength. So let her test, let her wonder, let her try to read you, because the moment she realizes you won't trade your peace for her chaos, she'll start to respect you in ways that no words could ever earn. Comment below: stillness is my strength. She feels it, even in silence. Number 2. Control kills desire. Why letting her lead destroys polarity. There's a delicate line between partnership and polarity. One nurtures trust, the other fuels desire. But when a woman leads, making the plans, setting the pace, defining the boundaries, something begins to erode. Not immediately, but slowly, quietly, her feminine energy begins to collapse. And not because she doesn't want to lead, but because deep down, she's waiting for you to take the wheel. Masculine energy is direction. Feminine energy is flow. When you stop leading, defer every decision, ask for permission, or let her set the emotional tone, you shift the dynamic into imbalance. You become passive, and in doing so you turn her into the masculine force. That's when attraction starts to die. You see, leadership isn't about control, it's about intention. It's not barking orders, it's not dominance, it's clarity. It's knowing where you're going and inviting her to come along, not asking if it's okay. The moment you begin to lead with quiet certainty, she relaxes, she softens, she feels safe to express, and that safety is what allows her feminine essence to come alive. Many men think they're being kind when they ask, "Where do you want to go? Is that okay with you? What should we do?" But these repeated questions signal uncertainty. They pressure her to make decisions she may not want to make. She may smile, she may answer, but inside she's wondering, where is your spine? Stoicism teaches us that strength is not found in noise, it's in calm direction. Leading doesn't mean ignoring her needs. It means offering a vision, having a plan, and when that plan is built on respect, not ego, she'll trust it. She'll want to follow, not because you asked, but because your energy says, "I know where we're going." Desire needs tension, and tension comes from polarity. Let her feel your direction, your certainty, your grounded presence, and she will respond not just with appreciation, but with attraction. Not because she has to, but because her body and mind are drawn to it, without words. Comment below, "I lead with purpose, she follows what she trusts." Number 3. You're the prize. Start living like it. Most men fall into the same trap, putting her on a pedestal while quietly hoping she'll validate their worth. They overextend, overcompensate, and slowly lose their sense of self in pursuit of affection. But here's the brutal truth. When you act like she's the prize, she'll treat you like an option. Value isn't proven by what you give away, it's upheld by what you protect. Being the prize doesn't mean arrogance or indifference. It means living with standards. It means knowing what kind of energy you welcome into your life and what you walk away from, even if it's beautiful, tempting, or emotionally familiar. It's the quiet discipline of saying, "I don't chase, I attract." A woman senses when a man carries himself with this energy. It's not about money or status, but how he moves, how he speaks, how he chooses. He doesn't plead for attention because his attention is sacred. He doesn't fear rejection because he doesn't hinge his worth on being chosen. He is already chosen by himself, his values, and the life he's building. Stoicism teaches us the essence of autarkeia, self-sufficiency. Not emotional coldness, but a deep-rooted calm that says, "I am enough." When you embody this, you don't need to prove anything. Your presence becomes magnetic, not because it demands attention, but because it's rare. You stand out by standing still, while everyone else scrambles for approval. Here's the shift. Instead of asking, "How do I keep her?" ask, "Does she align with the life I'm building?" When you see yourself as the prize, your standards rise. You stop tolerating breadcrumbs, you stop explaining yourself, and you start attracting women who admire not just your looks or charm, but your essence, your calm power. If she disrespects you, plays games, or pulls away, you don't chase. You walk, not as punishment, but as protection of your peace. That's when she sees you were never begging for her time, you were evaluating hers. Comment below, "I don't chase approval, I protect my value." Number 4. Mystery is magnetic. Too much access destroys attraction. One of the most overlooked truths in dating is this: the more predictable you become, the faster her interest fades. Why? Because mystery isn't a tactic, it's a biological trigger. Our minds chase what they can't fully grasp. When you're always available, responding instantly, and explaining yourself, you kill the curiosity that pulls her in. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly captivated you by being too accessible? Probably never. True magnetism doesn't come from loudness or excess. It comes from restraint. The man knows when to speak and when to stay silent. It's the man who lets his absence echo louder than his presence. She doesn't fall for the one who gives her every piece of himself up front. She falls for the one who leaves just enough unsaid. The one who makes her wonder, what is he thinking? The one who disappears, not to punish, but to recenter, to live, to pursue meaning beyond her. That space, that pause, it makes her lean in. In Stoicism, there is a reverence for asymmetry, for holding back, not out of manipulation, but as a reflection of discipline. A Stoic man knows that his attention is sacred. His time is a currency. His energy isn't given freely, it's earned. That's why you don't overshare, you don't flood her phone with updates, you don't fill silence with noise. Instead, you let your lifestyle speak, your choices, your rhythm, your purpose. You are the man she doesn't fully understand, and that's exactly why she wants to. This doesn't mean you're distant or cold, it means you're intentional, present when you choose to be, elusive when you need to be. She'll feel the difference. She'll sense that her place in your world must be earned, not assumed. And if she's the right woman, she'll rise to the mystery, not run from it, because a woman of depth craves a man who's not addicted to being seen, but to being whole. Comment below, I protect my presence because it's powerful. Number 5. Stop needing her. Why emotional hunger kills attraction. Neediness doesn't whisper, it screams, and what it screams is this: I'm not enough without you. The moment she senses your happiness depends on her, the polarity shifts. Attraction dies, not with distance, but with dependency. The man who chases her validation becomes emotionally invisible. Because when you need her attention to feel whole, you lose the energy that once drew her in. Here's the truth most men avoid. Women are not attracted to need, they are attracted to presence. There's a massive difference between choosing her and needing her. The first is power, the second is pressure, and pressure doesn't ignite desire, it crushes it. When you constantly check your phone for her reply, panic after an unanswered message, and feel uneasy unless she reassures you, you're not in a relationship. You're in a loop of emotional survival, and it's not her responsibility to save you from that. Stoicism teaches that peace isn't found in others, it's cultivated within. A Stoic man doesn't require emotional handouts to feel secure. He finds meaning in his mission, joy in solitude, and validation in his discipline. He doesn't need her affection, he welcomes it, but only when it flows from freedom, not obligation. So don't rush to fill the gap the next time she pulls away. Don't overcompensate. Sit with the space, use it, build something, read, train, reflect. Let your absence speak. I was whole before you, and I remain whole now. This isn't about being emotionally cold, it's about being emotionally complete. You still care, you still feel, but your center of gravity stays inside you. That's the kind of energy that invites, not begs. She wonders, how is he so calm while I'm overthinking? The man who needs less attracts more. Comment below, I choose peace over permission. Number 6. You're not her puppet. Why standards beat emotion every time. It's easy to lose yourself in the moment, especially when emotions run high, voices rise, or silence feels like punishment. Most men make the fatal mistake of responding to emotion with reaction. She gets distant and he chases. She cries and he caves. She gets angry and he apologizes, regardless of fault. In doing so, he sends one loud message: my boundaries are negotiable. And once that message is received, the dynamic shifts. You are no longer her equal, you are her emotional puppet. Here's the deeper issue. Many men confuse love with surrender. They believe she'll see their worth if they bend far enough, but attraction doesn't grow in sacrifice. It grows in structure, in a man who remains grounded when storms hit, in a man who listens but doesn't abandon his values, who feels deeply but chooses with clarity. She'll test you, not because she wants you to fail, but because she wants to feel your spine. She wants to know, can I push him off balance? Will he lose himself to keep me happy? A man with standards isn't rigid, he's rooted. He knows what behavior he'll tolerate and what crosses the line, and when it's crossed, he doesn't argue, he acts. He walks away if he must, not to manipulate, but to protect his integrity. Stoicism teaches us that principles are more powerful than feelings, because feelings are waves. They rise, crash, and vanish. But your code, what you stand for, that's your compass. When you honor it, you become unshakable, and in a world full of men who fold, you become unforgettable. So next time she tests your patience, limits, and sense of self, breathe. Don't explain. Don't justify. Look inward. And if your standard is being violated, walk away with grace, because your peace matters more than pleasing someone who disrespects your frame. The man she respects is the man she cannot bend. Comment below. I stand firm even when emotions rise. Number 7. She doesn't want your tears, she wants your centered strength. Modern narratives often encourage men to open up, to be more emotionally expressive. And while vulnerability has its place, a crucial distinction is rarely spoken. Women aren't drawn to emotional chaos, they're drawn to emotional clarity. She wants to feel your depth, not your breakdown. She wants to feel safe in your presence, not be the container for your confusion. When a man loses control of his emotional frame, even with good intentions, he stops being the anchor. He becomes the storm. Here's the truth no one tells you. Women are more emotionally volatile by design. That's not a flaw. It's part of their intuitive relational nature. But because of that, they instinctively seek the opposite in a partner. Someone who brings calm to chaos, not someone who mirrors it. So when things get tough, when she's overwhelmed, reactive, or pushing your buttons, your power lies not in matching her emotional intensity, but in grounding it. That doesn't mean you become cold or dismissive. It means you don't collapse. You hold your center. You witness her storm without becoming it. A tearful man, in the right context, can be powerful. But a man who cries every time she pulls away, panics at silence, melts under pressure, becomes a burden, not a refuge. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. In love, this means you don't give her your tears every time she withdraws. You give her presence, stillness, leadership. You remain the mountain when the wind howls. Because in her core, she doesn't want to lead you. She wants to follow a man who can lead himself, especially in emotional terrain. She wants to know that when life shakes, you stay rooted, that your emotions serve your values, not sabotage them. Let others spill over. You stand still. Comment below. I lead with stillness, not storms. Number 8. Don't chase her approval. Command her attention. You hand her the crown every time you try to convince her to choose you, through compliments, gifts, or emotional appeals. You become the performer, dancing for validation, hoping she applauds. But admiration doesn't come from effort, it comes from energy, specifically the energy of sovereignty. A woman doesn't want a man who begs to be seen. She wants a man so deeply rooted in his path that she can't help but turn her head when he enters a room. The man who doesn't try to impress, but simply is impressive. This is the quiet power of a Stoic man. He doesn't seek applause, he seeks alignment. He doesn't ask, "Do you like me?" He asks himself, "Do I respect who I've become today?" Because when you respect yourself fully, fiercely, without apology, others feel it, especially her. The moment you stop seeking her approval is the moment she starts wondering about yours. She starts paying attention to how you move, how you speak, how you remain composed under pressure. Your silence becomes louder than her distractions. Because now you're no longer a pursuer, you're a presence. It's not about being indifferent, it's about being whole. Women don't crave men who chase, they crave men who create. Men who shape their own lives, sculpt their bodies, build their vision, and honor their time. You become magnetic not by focusing on her, but by becoming the man she wants to orbit. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Let her see that unfolding. Not through persuasion, but your progress. Let her feel your standard, not through words, but through how you carry yourself when she tests you. Because the man who doesn't chase forces her to follow. Comment below, "I don't chase, I rise." Let her follow. Number 9. The unshakable man is her deepest craving. When chaos strikes, when emotions flare, when games begin, most men react. They argue, explain, defend, but the man she can't forget is the one who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't fight for her attention because his attention is already owned by his mission, his peace, his center. In a world full of noise, unpredictability, and emotional reactivity, a man who remains grounded becomes unforgettable. He is the eye of the storm, where her wildness feels safe. Not because he controls her, but because he controls himself. Masculinity, when grounded in Stoic discipline, isn't loud. It doesn't need to prove. It radiates. Like a mountain that doesn't chase the wind, it simply stands and the world adjusts. Women are drawn to this stillness. It signals power. Not the power that dominates, but the power that doesn't waver. The man who won't beg, won't justify, won't compromise his core to please her mood. Instead, he listens without reacting. He observes without attaching. He leads with silent strength. Carl Jung taught that women are drawn to the animus, the inner masculine archetype. But that archetype isn't a pleaser. It's a guide. It's the inner warrior, philosopher, king. And she's not testing you to push you away. She's testing to see if you stay without losing yourself. Let her bring the storm, you bring the anchor. When she pulls away, you don't chase. When she doubts, you don't explain. When she returns, you welcome her if it aligns with your values. This is not coldness, this is clarity. This is what commands her deepest respect. Because at her core, a woman doesn't want a man who bends. She wants a man she can lean on, a man who stays still when everything else shakes. The unshakable man is not hardened, he's honed. Not closed, just clear. And that clarity is rare, that clarity is magnetic, that clarity is what she won't forget. Comment below, "I am the mountain, I let the storm come." Number 10. Be the flame, not the moth. Every man wants to be wanted, but the men who are truly desired never chase. They don't flutter around women like moths chasing light. They are the light. And that changes everything. A man consumed with seeking attention burns out quickly. He becomes predictable, needy, and invisible in his desperation. But the man who's lit from within, who is on fire for his life, mission and values, draws women in like gravity. He doesn't impress. He expresses. Not to please, but to live. This is the final trait, the unshakable passion. Not performative, not borrowed, but deeply rooted. Whether it's his work, art, discipline or purpose, it consumes him. And that fire is what makes a woman want to step closer. Why? Because women don't want to be the center of your life. They want to orbit something powerful, purposeful and alive. A man chasing her feels like a burden. A man chasing his mission feels like a magnet. This is the paradox of attraction. The more fulfilled you are without her, the more she wants to be part of your world. And not because you need her, but because your fire offers warmth she can't find elsewhere. In Stoic terms, this is amor fati, the love of fate. It's saying yes to your path, your purpose, even the pain. It's knowing that love is not your savior. You are already whole. And from that wholeness, love becomes a choice, not a clutch. So what do you do now? You build a life you're proud of. You let your passion blaze quietly but visibly. You let your focus speak louder than your flirtation. And you don't chase, because what you attract will be a reflection of who you've become. She won't fall for your words, she'll fall for the way your eyes light up when you talk about your dream, the way your presence feels like peace and purpose combined, the way you glow, not because of her, but because you've finally chosen yourself. That's the man she can't replace, the man she can't forget. Comment below, I don't chase light, I become it.